Let's go. That after a win feeling just still going on. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast.
Let's go. Let's go.
Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place a bet of $10 to get, deposit $10. Place a bet of $5 to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. We tried this out last round, and it was awesome. Man, those were really late. We tried this out last time, and it was awesome. We had we have you, the listener, and more specifically, the diehard onto our show. So if you become a diehard, which you could sign up for at thednvr.com, you sign up, you can hop on the show whenever we do these. We'll probably do these throughout the entire summer. We'll rely on you guys to create our content, not ourselves. We'll do that. But first, we're going to do some hangover takes, and I got my homies with me. It's Harrison Wind.
Do you remember the last time we did the Die Hard Q&A? It was under very different circumstances. It was like one of the weirdest days in Nuggets history after they fired Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. And now we're bringing the diehards in to celebrate one of the best days in recent memory.
That's so true.
Game 6 win.
Nuggets 2-0 so far in do or die games in this playoffs. I've also got D-Line Co here.
I'm going to shoot you straight, guys. Feeling a little rough. The concept of the hangover take hits a little too hard today. I did not fall asleep till well after 4 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
I was jazzed up to a point that I could not de-jazz myself.
Yeah.
I tried playing violent video games. I tried scrolling
I don't think
TikTok
that would
for
help
hours.
you go to sleep.
Nothing worked. I just stayed up. And now I woke up. I had a bunch of people asking me for stuff. And then I slowly but surely realized it was Friday.
Yeah. I'm so excited that we have tomorrow off. You know, it's like the best thing ever when you have a day off. I haven't felt this in like 300 days. So I'm very excited that tomorrow I have no obligations. But Eric, this is a good point. We live in this time and age right now where you have the pregame, the lead up and everything. Then you have the game. Then you have the winner's lounge, which is it extends it. It's also awesome. Hour and a half you're going. And then right after that, you have the joy scroll, which depending on the size of the win, where you're just on YouTube or on Twitter or wherever it is you go, it can be 30 minutes. It could be 7 hours. So the game is now the game and post-game celebration can literally be an entire day.
I know, man. I mean, social media in so many ways is ruining the world. This is a way it's really making our lives better. The concept of the joy scroll is something that life would not be the same without a nice joy scroll after a Nuggets playoff win.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I do feel like my intro was saying how detrimental it was to my life.
Yeah,
but I also agree.
Yeah.
It does. Sometimes the things you want
it's good and bad.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes the things you want the most are not the best for you. It really is just unadulterated, uncut sports heroin. And I was,
I mean, it's better than some alternate options out there of what you could be doing at 4 a.m.
Like literal heroin.
Violent video games.
Yeah. We'll go some hangover takes here before we start taking callers. We have one lined up. Hopefully we get a couple more. If you want to become one, hop in the Discord, the DNVR Discord, which you can only get access to when you are a diehard. So here's one thing I brought up on the All-NBA show today, but it's something I've been thinking about. If you go through this series, game number 1, they try to guard Jokic straight up. They say, we have 2 really good defenders. We're just going to guard him one-on-one. We don't need to adjust who we are. We're the best defense of all time. Nuggets have a 114.2 offensive rating, and they get the win. So in game 2, they adjust, and they hold Denver to a 101.9 offensive rating. That's really low. They basically shut Denver down. In game 3, Denver brings that up slightly to 105.6. So still very effective, but Denver's increasing here a little bit. Game 4 was the 36-hour game. Both teams sucked. It was an 88 offensive rating. That's terrible. But then in game 5, Denver raises it up again to 108.2. And then in game 6, 115.5. This is my biggest takeaway as I digested this game. My biggest hangover take, Wind, is the Nuggets have actually, since game 2, slowly started to figure out, I think, how to attack this team. And Jokic in particular has just gotten better each game. And now you're looking at it and going into game 7, if everybody's healthy, and you go, has Denver actually cracked the code and now they just know how to attack this team?
Yeah, they have. And happens every series. You know, the deeper a series gets, the more comfortable Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets get. I mean, we've got so much data to back that up by now. And we've just seen it with our eyes over the course of the series. It is funny because he did have 42 points in game one.
Yeah.
So he got going early.
But that's a different defense. That was a different defense.
Right. Both teams made their adjustments, but it also took a while for the rest of the Nuggets to get on board. You know, not everybody figures things out as quick as Nikola Jokic does, but it does seem like the entire team is on the same page now in terms of how to attack this Thunder defense, where the holes are, where they can find the cracks in it. And I said this on the show last night, they've outplayed the Thunder in these last 3 games. They have. Just in 2 of them, in games 4 and 5, they choked in the fourth quarter because they were tired and, you know, a couple other things. But for the majority of these last 3 games, they've been the better team. And nobody should be scared of the Thunder anymore. I mean, the Nuggets have shown the blueprint, I think, in these last 3 games of how to win. And finally, in game 6 last night, they capitalized on both ends.
Yeah. For me, like, I think there's like very high level things that have happened, but I also think there's like pretty basic things that have happened. And Jokic started hitting a bunch of shots too. I think that opened up a lot of the world for everybody.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's really easy it's a lot easier to navigate a packed paint if he himself can break it by shooting from outside, or you can count on somebody else to start making shots. But I'm with Harrison. I mean, I felt like the Thunder really showed their youth and inexperience last night. Like, I felt like they looked like the younger, both teams looked like who they are, you know, not who they necessarily aspire to be. I think the Thunder are an incredible team, and we don't know if they have it in them to take the next step because it requires pressure. But I don't think they responded to it very well last night. I mean, granted, that's like pretty common thing that happens in these series. So the real test obviously is up ahead, but I'm going into it very confidently just based on what I've seen from the growth of our Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. But ironically, it was the young Nuggets who made the difference here. Christian Brown was phenomenal. Julian Strawther was phenomenal. Peyton Watson made some plays. So as much as I agree with you that the Nuggets looked more veteran in that game, they looked more desperate too, which is natural. They were the team that had to win. Yeah. But it was the young guys, and that's part of what's kind of encouraging about this to me.
I mean, for sure, man. Strawther having that game last night was unbelievable.
Revelation. No one could have seen it coming.
There were a couple people who saw it coming. Some of them might be on the show.
Do we have it, by the way, Eric? Did you send this to Kale?
No, I won't fully blow up his spot. I'll allow him to maintain some anonymity. The guy reached out to me on Twitter.
He did.
He DM'd me.
So the guy who called you out.
Yeah, I was called out specifically in the chat.
In the chat.
Of all places, in the chat.
I know, that chat.
In the chat. I was called out in a moment of frustration.
Yeah.
When we were all feeling down. And, you know, some people start to look inward, start to fight inward. I'm not your enemy, fella. I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. But he was like, hey, man, remember when you said Strawther would win us a playoff game?
Somebody said that in the chat to you.
Yeah, 2 days, like after the last game when it was not going well. And he was like, oh, just say you were wrong, man. And I was like, no, I'm not going to say I was wrong. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Anyway, I blew up his spot several times on the show last night.
You did make it a point to blow up his spot a lot. Yeah.
I've never felt so vindicated so quickly by something. And I felt so good about I never gave it up. You know what I mean? I was like Braveheart. Like I was William Wallace on the table, and they were like, I want you to give up your beliefs. And I just wouldn't do it. I looked and they tore my intestines out. I stayed strong. Then Julian Strawther rewarded me. Anyway, he hit me up on DM and said that I was mostly right, but not totally right, but he's sorry. So I won.
This is why you can never, the haters.
You won that guy 0.
Except for he wouldn't concede. He still was like, he only kind of won the game, not really. It was, and you're like, dude, come on now, come on, take an L. People need to learn how to take an L. You know, it happens to the best of us. So yeah, I feel good about that. But now we have to talk about the Aaron Gordon piece of this, which the schedule came out for round 2. I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves. Aaron Gordon might not be ready to go in game 7. I would guess no matter what, he's going to try to play. But if his hamstring, like Aaron Gordon, to me, there's 3 irreplaceable players in the Nuggets: Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. Everybody else in a pinch, you can say it's not going to last for long, but we can throw this person into that role or this role. You can't do that for those guys. And if Aaron Gordon can't go, or if he's just ineffective, what happens?
I'm sorry. It sounds like somebody's getting arrested.
Can you hear this?
No.
So we're accustomed to there being police sirens going up and down Colfax. That sounded like we were in one of my violent video games. Like
it sounds like it's like World War III out there. It sounds like there's somebody like in a police car on a radio yelling at somebody in the street.
Yeah. So,
anyways, sorry.
Maybe check the news after you watch this show.
Anything happening on the corner of Colfax and York?
Stay safe out there, guys. Stay safe out there. No, but Aaron Gordon's hamstring to me is like kind of a big concern, because even if he's, let's say, 80%, game 7 is going to be brutal. And then you have 24 or 48 hours to turn around, and then you have to go home to play Minnesota. So to me, I don't want to think about it because it feels like putting bad vibes in the universe, but it is a big storyline here. Is AG healthy?
I know. Like, do you wonder if Michael Porter can siphon off some of his lidocaine supply and just maybe portion a little for Aaron Gordon, because he's going to need it, man. I agree. Like, he's definitely going to try to play. It seemed like he popped his hamstring, though, or strained it or something. And like, that's obviously what happened. But it's a huge storyline heading into game 7. No doubt, man. Just like how important he's been in every single game. One of the more underrated, I think, storylines of this series is his defense on Jalen Williams, the good Jalen Williams.
Which one's that?
The fake all-star Jalen Williams.
Oh, fake all-star.
Yeah.
He's the good one. Wow, that's
J-Dub and J-Will.
Other Jalen Williams.
J-Dub, yeah.
But I mean, this might be, Eric, to your point, J-Dub sucks, but it also might be AG rules.
His physicality in that matchup has been massive. And he is way stronger, way more physical than Jalen Williams. And it's been a big pivot point in this series.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't mean to, I just, I like to be petty when I'm able. So, but I forgot we're doing serious analyzation today. I'm with it. Okay.
Lock in, Eric, lock in. Come on.
To my memory, AG played after he suffered that. He did not go out immediately, which to me is a good sign. Like, he played a couple more plays. I think it will get stiff on him. I listened to our mortal enemy. I would never recommend listening to the show Locked On Nuggets with Matt Moore and Ryan Blackburn. It was great. I always listen to it, but they were talking about how Matt was saying, like, he thinks that if this was in the regular season, like, he'd be out for weeks, just the way way that it's handled.
Well, maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
But I think I just took solace in that he didn't seem to make a big deal about. He gave a very downplay quote to our own Brendan Vogt, and he did play a little bit after that happened, even though it happened like right at the end of the game.
Right.
But I mean, my God, of course you're worried about that. It's like mercifully, you got a couple days to.
Yeah, a couple pool days maybe to get it in the water, loosen it up a little.
To get it in the water. It is honestly much needed. I mean, it could be the last, it will be, if they go on to win, the last 2-day break they get until the finals. So it's kind of crazy. By the way, man, you could make the argument, you got to win your series early if you want rest. But this every other day thing for 2 rounds in a row to me.
What is happening? Why is it the thing?
If this is the cost of the in-season tournament,
I was just going to say
what an hell, man.
Does Adam Silver care more about the in-season tournament than the postseason tournament?
Probably.
And does Adam Silver not care about Katy Perry? The Katy
Perry
Perry concert had to be moved.
I heard about this
from Ball Arena because the Nuggets game was happening during that time.
Right.
Who has less faith in the Nuggets, the Cronkies or Katy Perry?
Katy Perry, probably a Thunder fan.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
Q score very low.
She thought the Thunder would run the West pretty easily.
Yeah. She went to space and nobody will credit her for it. It's very troubling. Can you imagine paying that much money going up into space and people saying you didn't really go to space? That's a bummer.
Well, I mean, I would be mad if people told me that I didn't just go to Mexico. I mean, I did. I was there.
I didn't see any pictures of you there. I don't know.
I didn't do a good job when I was there. I did as much as Katy Perry did in
You
space.
say you went, but I don't know. You're not that tan.
Who was it that went to space and said it was really sad? Do you know this story?
Oh,
there was like a famous person who got to go to space,
right.
and they went up thinking it was going to be life-changing, and they were like, it was really sad.
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
I couldn't joy scroll after a Nuggets game in space.
I feel like I could relate to that, like seeing the big expanse and how it's like it's really the universe is half empty or half full. Like you could be like, look at all of these things, or you could look at this great empty expanse and it makes you feel tiny or part of something large. Anyway, sorry, Katy Perry. I hope that the concert being made up is worth it.
All right. We got to have some people on now because we want to get you, the viewers' opinions, our diehards in particular. If you want to become a diehard, that way you can read all of our written content, not just for the Nuggets, across the entire Denver market. We have some fantastic writers. Brennan Vogt just published his article from last night's game, so you can read that as well. But we'll do that right after this quick break.
Quick break to tell you guys about Toyota. Let's drive into the playoffs with Toyota. You can enter now for your shot at winning incredible prizes, including playoff tickets, a private suite experience for you and your friends, a flyaway adventure to see a Nuggets playoff game on the road, and a chance to drive away in the all-new Epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner, a brand new Epic 2025 Toyota 4Runner. That'd be awesome. Well, I would take that. Like if Toyota wants to present that to me, I would take that.
If the Nuggets win Game 7,
yeah,
I am going to look at one of those.
Ooh, is that going to be from your Game 7 winnings? Maybe.
Who am I, Dev?
Check it out. The link is in our description for the drive to the playoffs. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be a part of the Nuggets playoff frenzy. Drive to the playoffs with your Front Range Toyota stores. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota in Englewood, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota, East Aurora, Stevenson Toyota, West and Lakewood Toyota is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets and the official vehicle of DNVR. And also become a diehard, thednvr.com to become a diehard. If you guys want to support us here at DNVR, that is the number one place to do it. Best way to support us is to become a diehard. Not that expensive, just a couple bucks a month. And you can become a diehard, thednvr.com. Then you can hop in the Discord, just our 24/7 chat room for the Nuggets. We have one for all the teams as well. And right in there is the link to hop on the show where we'll be taking questions from diehards in a second. So become a diehard, get a free shirt, join up.
Yeah, don't think of it as supporting us. Think of it as enhancing your life.
Exactly.
I mean, who cares about us?
Yeah, us.
Think about your life improving because you have a T-shirt and you can be on the show. And then, that's okay, right?
Probably will make your life a little better. thednvr.com to become a diehard. All right, I think we're back.
Adam has disappeared, so I'll just bring the first.
This will actually work better because I was just realizing we're going to have the 4 slices when we bring somebody on. So screw Adam. Let's go. Gino.
Our guy Gino, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Doing well.
It's going great.
Perfect. There we go.
Oh, there's the 3 slices.
There we go. Adam had to get back in here.
had to get back in. Gino, what's happening, dude?
Good, doing well. Nuggets are well, it's tied. It's 3-3, but still alive. And no one expected them to even be 3-3. So everything's going well. Weather's good. Can't complain about
Weather
that.
is good.
Right. Yeah. Markets are doing okay.
What's the temperature of the room you're in? Is it good or is it?
It's like mediocre. Like,
that's so
like
good.
a balmy 75.
You know, it's funny though, because you said the Nuggets are up, but I do feel like they're up 3-3.
They are up 3-3. Absolutely. Dude, the myth of momentum is on our side, baby.
So, Gino, are you an eternal optimist?
Yes. Yeah. I when it comes to the Nuggets, as far as I see it, they won a title already. Everything else is gravy. Like, it's so much harder to win a title in the current NBA than it was to have dynasties, before the last 2 CBAs really made it hard to keep your team together. So every champ the last 4, 5, 6 years now has just been torn apart by free agency, by people leaving, by injuries. So we got the title, we got the one. Any further titles, awesome gravy. And, at the end of this, either they'll be champs again, or there's going to be massive changes and the team might be very different, but maybe more interesting to watch and more fun. Who's to say it's going to be bad?
What an outlook. I love this guy.
Man. Can you just narrate my life?
I know.
Gino?
I was going to say, I feel like the temperature of the room that I'm usually in is not good enough to have to cultivate.
I would
an
say
outlook
it's
like
average to below.
I think it's a little cold in here, to be honest.
Yeah. Kale?
So yeah, man, I mean, Julian Strother's game last night was a huge story. And part of me wonders, like, Denver just needed one more shooter. The whole series really could be distilled down to Denver doesn't have enough shooting. And if they did have one extra guy, they might win every game by 10. I know that sounds a little incendiary, but I think it's somewhat true. So can Julian Strother now, how do you approach game 7 with him? Does he play 7 minutes again? Or do you think they roll him out there and say, hey, we just need it. And if it works, it's good.
I mean, my feel is you give him the run in the first end of the first, start of the second, one of those parts. See if he's hot. See if he's still feeling confident. See if he's hitting shots. See if they're not attacking him violently every time he's on the court, which is what happened, I think, like once or twice when Shea was there. But as long as Shea's not there, I don't know that the Thunder have a guy who's just going to pick on him relentlessly the same way. So it might not kill you. So you can ride that out. And if he's hot, maybe you try it again in the second quarter, especially if Russ is being Colfax mode. Like you need to find someone who's going to hit an open shot, but not take a crazy shot.
The thing that's tough about that is there's nothing tougher as a shooter than them saying, like, go out there and if you make it, you'll stay in. That's like, are you kidding me? Like, okay,
right,
this is
right. But you,
well,
you don't tell him that.
Yeah,
you
you
just think that way.
Well, I mean, but he knows it, you know, he deep down. I think the defensive part of this is the big one, but I do actually want to pivot to Russ now because we haven't talked a lot about Russ. And I'm listening to Simmons's pod last night. I'll actually ask you this one first, Wind. We have not really talked at all, or at least much, about the fact that Russ is playing his old team and that this is the best. Like, there is a weird, if you put yourself in Russ's shoes, you know, he's both trying to make a name for him, you know, keep rebound from the playoffs he had last year, which he's already done. He's having all these different things. But there's also the idea of Russell Westbrook was the great point guard of the Thunder history. And now Shea kind of is, and he's not dead. He's still playing, and he's in the series. And I do think it's a weird situation for Russ. He hasn't been great in the last handful of games. And I think it's probably a little weird for him that he's going up against his, you know, his ex's new side piece.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going up, against his ex's new side piece who everybody loves and has the most aura ever, just overflowing with aura.
By the way, Russ
spilling out of everything.
Russ so much more aura than
that's
Shea.
the
Are we
thing.
being crazy?
Whatever the definition of this stupid word aura is, I just know Westbrook has more of it.
Way more.
Yeah.
But he's not recognized as the aura god.
Because
That's
the
because
word wasn't around back then.
Yeah, we weren't so lame back in the day that this is how we talked about things.
But I agree,
he was
man,
cool back then. Yeah,
it's got to be a little weird for us. And what a story it would be if he just had this unbelievable game 7 in OKC in front of those same fans that like bowed at his feet.
Yeah,
8 years ago or whenever it was he was there. It would be incredible. He was great in game 1. Put up numbers in game 2, but that game doesn't really count. Was okay in game 3 when they won an OT. These last 3 games, he's been really bad, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of been disastrous. The defense, I think, has still been good, but other than that, he's been a liability. It would be the ultimate, the ultimate feather in the cap if the Nuggets win this series for him to have a great game 7. It would be huge.
See, to combine the last 2 topics here, like I think it's unrealistic to think that Julian Strother will be able to replicate what he did in Ball Arena on the road in a playoff game. But I don't think it's at all unrealistic to think that Russell Westbrook might be the one to rise up and fill that role as the guy that shows up. Like, because I do think that there is something. I do think that there'll be a bigger emotional swell for him. That generally speaking, he plays well when he's like that. It is strange, like how I mean, he's been bad the last bad. Like he had a really terrible stretch. He had a great putback, but like
he did have that layup late in the game.
It was
when the Nuggets had turned it over a couple times, and you're like, "What is happening?" And then he just like took the ball to the rim and scored. And you're like, "Oh, thank God!"
But like, my God, we started this week with a podcast talking about how narrative is such an important thing in sports and what this all represents. And like, you want to talk about an unbelievable narrative to have Nikola Jokic dethrone Shea immediately after he's given the MVP award, and Russell Westbrook is the one that helps him do it.
Oh my God.
Is like, I mean, that's a Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah.
I almost made Kale write a report from home.
So Gino, I mean, with that context, have you been thinking about this context at all? That this is maybe a really weird series for Russell Westbrook?
I mean, it's definitely a really weird series. I don't know that he changes how he plays ever, really. Yeah. Like he's always pressing. He always seems like, he plays the most basketball. I don't know if it's the best, but he's doing the most things all the time.
That's a good one. Yeah.
That's why people call me the Russell Westbrook of this show.
Yeah. So like
you're giveth and taketh on the show.
Yeah, dude. People just say generally I'm doing a little too much.
But I feel like after he got benched last game, after he got benched yesterday, when he came back in, he dialed back his I'm open, I've got to shoot it. Like it's my responsibility to shoot this corner three or to shoot this top of the break three. I can drive into space. I can kick it to Jokic from a different angle. I can occupy that space. And then obviously, like Wynn said, the layup when everyone else was kind of trying to play prevent offense for like 4 or 5 minutes. And Russ just said, what if I just scored?
Yep.
What if they're just trying to pick at the ball. They're not trying to actually defend the hoop. I'm just going to take it. I think that hopefully he can find that nice middle ground where he's attacking the hoop, but not over penetrating and then getting blocked at the rim, because that's what everyone's expecting him to do. They're either expecting him to take the wide open shot that they're daring him to take, or drive all the way to the hoop and throw up garbage.
But this is why his job is so tough. So he came in, and I just thought he had a horrible first 3 minutes when he came into the game last night. And it kind of almost cost the game because the Nuggets were just smooth sailing, and then he came in. But here's what's tough about it. They're not guarding him from three, and he has to both come in and feel the rhythm of the game while also not letting them scare him away from shooting. You have to be aggressive and confident, but also know the temperature. And he didn't get the right balance yesterday. I mean, there's no way around it. He didn't have it, but that balance isn't that easy. It's easy for us. We're on a couch, but it's actually kind of a hard balance.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he is good enough from the corners. He should take some. There's some amount of corner shots where he probably is open enough and should be able to take it, especially low on the shot clock, like dribbling in 2 steps to take his odd bank shots.
I don't like that
seem
one.
to go in sometimes. That's probably not better, but he does have freedom of movement, like to go in and move a little bit inside of the arc that other people don't get because they're not getting cushion. Yeah. So he can probably set up some passing angles. He can be creative in a way that someone who's getting pressured full court like Jamal is just wouldn't have that opportunity. So I liked that in the back half of the game, he was using that additional space to do something other than shoot or run into Chet's waiting arms.
Yeah. What else you guys got? When you guys got anything for Gino here?
Just to hear his rosy outlook on it. Hey, Gino,
what do you think of the stock market? I was going to go stock market.
Yeah, let's talk Israel-Palestine. Can we get a sunny outlook on
man? Come on.
All right, fine. No, I'm good then.
I mean, I had a question for y'all if that's all right.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah,
thanks, Gino. It was really good, buddy. We'll see you. I'm kidding. Fire away.
I was just wondering, we've been talking about, the Booth Boys y'all have been talking about the Booth Boys for a while now.
They're orphans. And
given like how P-Watt and Strother and Pickett had him, he at least got to play in the first series against the Clippers, which I don't know that a lot of people expected early on in the playoffs. How much more would you need to see from some of these guys to feel good about them being a part of the picture? Because we're getting a new GM. We might get a new coach. There could be any number of changes, but it seems like some of them are at least stepping up into what is needed for right now. Like, are they incredible? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But they're at least, maybe they've earned a chance.
I'll take this one first if you guys don't mind, and I'll almost take it a different direction because Nick Wright had a tweet last night that said something like Calvin Booth is vindicated. I can't remember what it was, but something along those lines. And I saw a lot of like Nuggets just commentators, like a lot of like well-known Nuggets commentators that are like, actually Booth Malone is the one that likes Strother, not Booth, or blah 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 blah. Like, I think this whole story is like largely misread, in my opinion. And I've been the one that has tried to push back and say there's a lot of nuance to this, man. People aren't just like one-dimensional doing this or that. My opinion is that there's no question Cal made mistakes and the roster has been deficient for it. You look at it where I think that Malone made missteps in how he handled Pickett, how he handled Peyton Watson, Strother, and probably just those guys. You could throw Zeke Naji in there if you want, because I think Malone killed his confidence. I think it's not just about playing guys. And Strother was a Booth and Malone guy. Like, they shared him. That was the first round pick. They had agreed to that person. So not like one person owns it over the other. But what I think the misstep was, when you're building for a playoffs, you're not just playing guys. And I think that Peyton Watson, Pickett, Strother, Zeke, to the extent that they played, their roles, Julian was to run all over the court, but Peyton Watson's was to stand in the corner while Russell Westbrook ran a second unit and he had no involvement in it. So what is his offensive skill set to Denver right now? I think Peyton Watson can handle the ball a little bit. I think he can pass it a little bit. He's a little erratic, and you probably would have to go through some learning curves. And more importantly, when you got to the playoffs, he's not going to be playing alongside DeAndre Jordan, Pickett, Westbrook. He's going to be playing around Jokic and Murray. And so for me, my complaint is not just about the low minutes total, which I think they should have played more. It's, how can you find ways to work these guys into different spots? AJ Mitchell played a lot this year for Oklahoma City. He's not playing now, but they played him a lot because they're like, we need to get him reps that matter, not just these garbage time or second unit reps. Like, we need to filter him into our system for years down the road. And that's where I think, whether you agreed with it or not, and Cal should have read the tea leaves better, that was his 2-year vision, and none of it was followed. They didn't play a lot, and when they did play, it was not in a role that they were going to be used for in the postseason, in my opinion. But I know that we have different opinions about this.
No, I agree with a lot of that. I'd say, can Julian Strother and Peyton Watson play on a contending team? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely can.
Can Harrison Wynn do a podcast?
I mean, P-Watt, if you just look at who he is defensively, it's exactly what you would want, on a team that's led by Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Strother, his shooting, or what he could be as a shooter. Yeah, he hasn't been a consistent shooter at all as an NBA player, but I mean, does he have the skill set to fit in between like the Nuggets higher usage guys? Yeah, absolutely. They've got the talent and skill. I think they can develop even more as well. I am with Adam though. Like, it is a lot of how they're deployed and how they're put out there on the court and who they're playing with, because, and I've said this a lot, nobody is going to look good next to like Russell Westbrook, Julian Strother, including Zeke Naji,
including Jamal Murray.
Yeah, like nobody looks good as in those lineups of 4 bench guys. It's just of 4 like average or below average players when you're matched up against a team that's doing a lot more staggering on the other end. So I think it's more how they're deployed and what kind of lineups they're out there with. Can they play? Yeah, they're both. Dude, they both can be players.
Even real quick, Eric. People would say like Zeke Naji is good with Jokic, and people say, "Well, everybody's good with Jokic. That doesn't count." And I go, "Well, if AG's out, wouldn't it be nice that we had Zeke Naji with Jokic in this next game? That was a thing we trusted in any capacity. Now that part is actually what makes him valuable." But we're not there, and it's hard to do that while also winning games throughout the regular season. But that was the vision that was laid out, and was not one that was agreed upon.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, the answer is being written right now. Like, they'll show, like, if they win the title, they'll probably keep them. If they flame out, I mean, those guys are getting better. Peyton Watson, like, you look at, you're like, can that guy be Jaden McDaniels? Like, maybe, I don't know. Can he like be that style player? Can he, he's getting better and better, and you still see like it's worth it. But it's just like, if they win, like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's also a price tag too. Like,
of course, they have to be cost controlled.
But also Peyton Watson, And I don't think the Nuggets did this intentionally, but it's possible his price tag is way lower than it would have been if the Nuggets would have followed Booth's plan. And we might be going into a summer right now where it's like, he's worth $110 million. It's like, well, maybe not. So, Gino, we got more people waiting on. So thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for following.
Thank you.
Thanks
for your optimism.
Dark ass podcast of ours.
Thank you. Have a good one, y'all.
Let's bring in our old friend Saeed now. Saeed, oh my
what
God.
What up?
Oh,
great man made that shirt for me.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Looking good, man. Representing.
Thanks, man. Hey, heads up. It's close 10 till 1 a.m. here, so I don't want to wake up my 1-year-old. So bear with me if I'm whispering.
All right, there you go.
He's still joy scrolling. That's crazy.
Early 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
What did you think of that win last night? And do you agree with my hypothesis that the Nuggets offense might be slowly figuring out Oklahoma City and every game is kind of getting more comfortable?
I think I agree with you. It was a great win. Just, when they're back against the wall, they just showed up. That's the Denver Nuggets. That's the golden era. that's what defined them. Honestly, I think they figured them out like game 3, and then they should have won 4 and 5. It just came up to some tweaks. It came maybe a couple or 3 or 4 minutes of Julius Strather in the game 4 or 5 minute maybe might have sealed the deal for the Denver Nuggets if he played that well. Yeah. So I think they're figuring it out. They're even. You said they're even. I think now the Denver Nuggets slightly better. Tougher, more experienced. Hopefully, Game 7 will show it.
Yeah.
So I'm very hopeful for Game 7. I'm not so hopeful for the next round.
We'll worry about that when we get there.
Yeah.
Why are you worried about new stuff for?
New stuff.
I don't know. I get to hold scarves from last year for a very long time.
Yeah,
but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
For sure we will. I do think Jamal Murray is playing better though too, and this is part of it. If you want to know the most optimistic angle for this, the most pessimistic is AG's injury and health. Like that to me is by far the most like, well, if he's not healthy, how good of a chance? That becomes really tough. The most optimistic is Jamal Murray has been very good to great in 5 of the last 6 quarters. He was not that in the fourth quarter, and it ended up costing him, 2 games ago. But last game, he was very good and very comfortable in getting to his shots. And I just feel like Murray slowly gets to a place, and maybe it's getting later and later every year. It used to be the playoffs, used to be right after the All-Star break. It might be now the 3rd round.
You're like, Jamal Murray's a Western Conference Finals player.
He always shows up for the conference finals, guys. Chill. He always shows up.
Yeah. He better show up Game 7.
But he does feel like, to me, like these last 6 quarters, I'm like, oh, there it is. That's the most consistent 6 quarters we've seen from him. And it was consistent in that he was good in 5 of 6.
Yeah, he's a champion. I mean, we have no doubt. I'm on Eric train. We have no doubt of Jamal Murray. Yes, last year was I don't know, fluke, whatever you want to call it. Maybe things were happening behind, just beyond the game of basketball. I don't know. No one knows his personal life, but I have no doubt of trusting Jamal Murray. Even last year, Game 7, he showed up. I think he scored 35 points. Yes, I have no doubt in my mind that he will score in the 30s, late, high 20s. Also, next game, it's who's the X factor. This is what we worry about for the last 2 playoff runs. Is who's the X factor for the Denver Nuggets. We got Russell Westbrook. We got Gordon a few times in this playoff. We got Russell Westbrook. We got Julius Strather. We got Christian Brown. So who knows? Who knows is going to surprise us for good or bad? Yeah. But Jamal Murray, no worries. No worries. By the way, you guys know what Jamal means in Arabic?
No.
Beauty.
Golden era.
Beauty.
Beauty?
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling you Jamal.
I almost named my youngest. I almost named my youngest son Jamal after him, but my wife did not agree. It's an Arabic name. Why not? Saeed is an Arabic name.
Interesting.
It makes sense. It sounds it now that you say it. Any other thoughts or questions for Saeed? We do have a queue going now, so anything you guys have?
I thought he brought up a good point about like potential X factors in this Game 7. I was thinking that maybe it's Peyton Watson, especially if Aaron Gordon's hurt and can't play as many minutes as he normally does. It's on P-Watt to step into that role. And like, we know he's going to bring it defensively. His offense has been shaky though, especially around the rim. Like, can he just shore that up a little bit and just play like a really strong two-way game? I feel like a lot could be on P-Watt here. Yeah. Especially if AG can't give you 100%.
I like that. I will say one thing. If you guys remember, Nuggets go up 16, which in the fourth with 5 minutes to go, which was their biggest lead of the night. And Julian Strother just didn't match up with anybody. And Alex Caruso had a corner three. Do you guys remember that play? Because it was like 16 points, 5 minutes to go. It's over. And then immediately they went on like a 9-0 run. And you're like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it's just over. What are we doing? But that was a play where Strother, for whatever reason, is just like thinking, not really thinking the moment. And that to me is the thing about Strother and Peyton to some extent, or a Zeke Naji, is they have talent. They can do all these different things. But man, every tiny mental mistake, even if it only lasts 2 seconds, can sometimes be the difference between a 9-0 run or not. And then that was an example of Strother playing great. And all of a sudden you're like, dude, you just gave them, they had missed like 11 in a row. And it was like, they're never going to score again. And then you gave them a wide open one. You're like,
Yeah, great point. That's why I think Adelman did not even stick to him. He entered Westbrook, I think. Like it was 2 minutes. Maybe like 2 minutes something. Like it made a little bit later, but he didn't just say, okay, good or bad, we're going to stick to Strother. So he was on top of his game. So maybe, it's just a little bit of sprints here or there, a couple of minutes here and there. It might make a difference, actually. It's been close games.
Another point there, and then we can get you out on this, but Adelman benched Westbrook quick because he had a horrible first stint. And usually he would play longer, and Adelman gave him a quick hook. Elimination game, veteran player, former MVP. Adelman hasn't been perfect in these playoffs, but that move to me was an impressive one because it's hard to bench Westbrook after just 4 minutes.
Westbrook was in disbelief. What the commentator said, he was like, "Me?
Yeah, he kept
you're out.
Like, are you talking about me? I'm coming out of the game. All I had was 5 turnovers and 6 bad shots. What do you expect?"
All right. Quick question for if it's all right.
Make it quick.
It's just very quick. I'm running. Schematic. Why the hell? Every time, I feel like it's so easy to drive on Denver and score. Like Oklahoma, they have Shea. I feel like even in the fourth quarter, it was just maybe like barely 10 seconds out of the shot clock, and they're already scoring. Like I wish we have a couple of guys that they can run to the basket. They can run to the basket, but they can't score like Westbrook. What's schematically? Why are we not? I don't know. Why don't we have those guys, and why it's so easy to score in Denver? Something. I don't know. It just seems like every time.
I think some of it in last game is they're up 15 points, 14 points, 13. And the worst thing you can give up there is an and one, or even just a free throw because it stops the clock and everything. So I think there's not a prevent defense, but a little bit of a like, we're just going to try to make them make tough ones. And they won comfortably.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Always good.
Thank you,
man.
Jamal.
See you in the Western Conference Finals.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I hope so. I think we're going to talk about Zeke Naji here coming up.
Do you think so?
Oh, our guy. 5-5-ish.
555's got places to be.
Yeah, we're on the go with you.
Yep, I'm taking my break from work right now.
This is the best.
I love you, man.
This is the best. Let's take a little break, man. Let's go outside.
Yeah. What's up?
Do your bosses know that you're on the show right now? Would that be a problem?
Nope. Don't worry. I'm safe. They know I'm taking a break.
Do your bosses know you're a legend in the Nuggets universe?
Yeah, are you rewarded for your faith in Zeke Naji at professionally?
Nah, I'm just the silent hero, I guess, in that regard. But no, my boss is actually she is a Nuggets fan, but she is from Minnesota, which is interesting. She talks to me about the Wolves sometimes.
Interesting.
Or she asks me about like, are they good or how are they doing? And I always like, yeah, they're okay.
They're all right. I don't know. They're fine. Yeah. What are you thinking, man, about this series and about Game 7?
man, this series is really freaking amazing. So before game 6, I had a hunch that we were going to win that game. So I took next Monday off because I figured after game 7, I'm either going to be way too happy to focus at all or way too depressed.
Yeah, that's very smart of you. Very smart.
It's called a mental health day. Yeah, it's either for joy scrolling or for deep looks into the universe, seeing if there's anything out there for us.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but yeah, this series has been really amazing, and I think you guys touched on it before, but like I feel like something in game 5 clicked for Jokic, and that was like it was so ironic that the thing I was worried about the most was, is Jokic going to figure out OKC? And I think something in game 5 happened where he's like, oh, he figured something out, I think. And I'm like, in game 6 kind of confirmed what I think we all thought, because he had a good game, average Jokic game, but it really felt like he could have done more if he needed to in that game. So
I agree. I thought he controlled it, but you're right, didn't need to dominate it. Like he was in control, but didn't necessarily have to dominate. So I agree with you that I feel like he has something figured out. And to me, I'm curious Eric, what you think of this one, but I feel like Yoke in the early part of this series got too wound up. Like he was very emotional. He was playing the refs and this stuff. And in the last 2 games, he's like taking a deep breath and calmed down. And he just looks different to me emotionally.
Yeah. And there's no safer bet in the world than was Jokic going to arrive to this series in a way that it is familiar to us. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like, I think he just sort of like took a step back in general. I was like, all right, what am I doing here? You know, like missing his shots, getting the ball stripped repeatedly, turnovers, stuff that you're like, what is this, man?
He was in his head about the refs too.
Yeah.
He was way too emotional over it. And I mean, I don't know what it is, but these last 2 games have, like, there's been very little chatter about the officiating, it seemed like, compared to earlier in the series.
Yeah.
Thank God. Yeah. What else do you think?
I think that this game, like, anything can happen in game 7, honestly. So, like, are we going to get another really good Julian Strother game? Is Adelman going to throw out another curveball or something? Or is Mr. Dagnott on the other side going to maybe start a certain someone instead of another certain someone?
A permanent sub?
It's kind of crazy to pull one of those out now, don't you think? I mean, like, here's the thing. If you're a coach and you do that, you put the light on you in ways that are probably more bad than good.
It's risky for sure.
It's a double-edged sword, because either you look like a genius because everyone's going to point, every analyst is going to be like, oh, look at that adjustment they made in that game 7 that won them, or like you said, it's like, why the heck did he do that? Why didn't they just do the
Ty Lue that's like, oh, I think I've got the secret, and it's starting Derek Jones Jr., who is just a disaster and absolutely cost them the game. I mean,
Dagnott is so like cocky and smug.
I know, dude.
That I could kind of talk myself into seeing him like coming up with some big adjustment for game 7. Some new weird
trick. The Isaiah Joe adjustment.
He's going to dig deep into the rule book and like find something about you can't stand on the 3-point line for more than 4 seconds with a defender within 3 feet.
Got him, guys.
So interesting. So about Dagnott, I was talking with my dad, and my dad thought the same thing. He's like, yeah, this coach is so cocky. I don't like the way he talks, and he was telling me, I didn't listen to the interview, but apparently when he was being asked about Oklahoma City and the clutch, and someone was asking him like, did you know, like, they were going to pull it out? And he's like, of course, they've been here before. And he's like, no, you haven't. You haven't done anything yet. What are you talking about? But yeah, there's something about him that like irks us or me or people. I don't know.
I will say the specific example you gave me, because I agree with you. Eric pointed it out. Now we can't unsee how smug he looks. Doesn't mean he is smug, but he certainly has the look of a smug guy. He certainly gives a lot of smug faces. But the one thing is, that is a thing everybody says no matter what. Like if you ask Jalen Pickett, he'd be like, I just been in a lot of big games. And you're like, no, you haven't. It's a go-to line for people for some reason. All right, we got to keep it moving. 555, but we always enjoy when you sneak out of work to be on the show.
Yeah, dude.
No problem. Also, if the Nuggets make it past this round, there's still hope for more Zeke minutes.
Still hope.
Hey, game 7 even. If the AG's out.
A very unfortunate silver lining to the AG injury is maybe it's Zeke time.
But what card did he get, though, when we did the card drawing? The tarot drawing?
We don't know. We'll have to look retroactively at the
How do you
cards.
mean you don't know? Of course we know. He's the one card we remember. The victory card.
Who's better? Here's my question. Who's better on the move? Nikola Jokic or 555-ish?
Definitely 555-ish.
All right, cool, man.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks, buddy. You got it, Jared. You have to turn your camera on so we could tell that you're not exposing.
You had it on earlier, but
also
okay.
on earlier. I don't
want to say somebody like gets on the show and then all of a sudden they're just butt naked or something. And
that would not be ideal.
His camera, or maybe his camera doesn't. Oh, there it is. There it is. Fully clothed. There he is. Jared, what's going on?
Not much. Did not expect to get called up here. Sorry, I'm also working, but I happen to work from home. So
it's all good, man. We're all working here.
Yeah. We're actually also working. Do you need to take us somewhere? Do you need to like walk outside or
no? There could be the chance though that I have to cut off soon. We're waiting for I have a baby daughter as well, like Harrison. So she's 11 months and taking her second nap of the day. And I promised my wife we'd go for a family walk after this. So
yeah,
if I have to cut
tough
off,
predicament, man. I know how you feel.
Are we not part of your family? Like, I mean,
you're part of my family when I get to take the walk with my dog by myself and just listen. But yeah, this would be a no headphone situation.
Talk about late game adjustments. You know, like Dag and y'all could learn quite a bit from Jared. I have to say.
I could say as well. All right, tell us your perspective on this series here.
I don't know if I can swear on this, but it's
you can
really
get the report ready.
We can.
No, you can't.
We'll just have Kale write a report.
No, I won't do that. It's been an up and down roller coaster. Been mind effing me for this entire time. This entire playoffs. It's like I had written them off. I won't lie. I've been eating crow. I wrote them off after game 5. I was like two games in a row. They've just ran out of steam. This is looking like game 7 of last year all over again. And then, the Nuggets nugget and do the exact opposite of what I expected. And here we are. So now it's just like, anything could happen in game 7. It is an early game, which scares me a little bit, and AG being out scares me, but they've already exceeded expectations so much further than I expected that, I'm just rolling with it at this point. But it would be nice if they didn't keep doing game 7s. I hope that if we make it through this, the next series is not as long.
I am the opposite. I'm telling you, I'm so like. You get a vision for a thing. 16 and 12, man. It would be the coolest thing ever.
For the Jokic legacy, Jamal's legacy, all of them, it would be the craziest. I would have to think it'd be like the craziest postseason run ever, given the circumstances going into it.
Were they underdogs against the Clippers? Do we remember? I think they were.
Yeah.
They were, right? Yeah. Hey,
but
4 underdogs. Let's do it.
But also, don't lie to yourself. It will be discredited beyond belief as soon if the Nuggets. I've already written the script. They were up against an aging Clippers team and
get out of here.
Young and unexperienced Thunder team that was a year ahead of schedule. Also, the other thing I love is that why it's so great to bring the community into this. We get the yin of Gino and the yang of Jared. The two. Gino can see nothing but light, and Jared is ready to jump out at every turn. And I love it. I love the whole ecosystem of all of our Nuggets diehards.
It is great.
Yeah, I've been hurt too many times. But at the same time, it's like, like I said, it's maybe it's just setting my expectations low and having them be, exceed my expectations. Can only go up from there.
You're like Jokic. That's what he said on that Aaron Gordon tip-in round 1. Is he's like, I didn't want to come up to come down, so I just waited for the result before I got excited.
Yeah,
that's you. You've been hurt too many times. You're just gonna wait.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be pre-happy.
I'm just throwing up wild Sombor shuffles and hoping that something good happens.
There's nothing more flattering under any context than to be compared to Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Can I also share something that you said that I've never heard before and just tickled me so deeply is that that when you're just known for a thing like the Chargers, and people say, well, the Chargers are going to charge, or that means
the Nuggets nugget.
He
I
said
caught
the
that
Nuggets
too. Yeah.
are going to nugget, and that means that they're going to pull it out, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's that's the thing. I don't know who the Nuggets are these days. So much that used to be like Nug Life, and now I feel like Nug Life is the situation where
it means
it's not just bad,
Right.
it can be good, but you just don't know what it's going to be, and it's just going to, tear with your heart. And
Yeah, I think the Nuggets nugget
night
means
really stressful.
they're gonna. You think they're dead, but they're alive.
Yeah,
And see, that's
they're
why,
like,
Eric, I
what do you
disagree
expect for
with
Game
you.
7? Okay.
Sorry, this is why I disagree with you, because the Nuggets are the team of 2-3-1 comebacks. The Nuggets, are fire their coach, he goes 16-12. No matter what you say about competition, which first of all, I don't think you can say that. If you beat a 68-win team, you can't say that they didn't play anybody. Come on. That's one of the best records of all time. Nobody could say that, I'm saying.
The
but
pods
what I
they'll
think,
find a way.
You underestimate the pods.
if you say that, you might as well like Michael Jordan wasn't actually that good of a dunker.
Right.
You're like, come on. All right. So, but here's the thing is, this would solidify the Nuggets as the ultimate, like, heat culture team, right? There's heat culture. They're just so good. They're about the right things and they're tough. The Nuggets would be like that times a million. It'd be like, hey, they're the 3-1 comeback team, the 16-12 team, the you can't kill them team, back against the wall team. And that would be a dope brand to have.
The Nuggets nuggeting, baby.
We don't need a coach or GM team to win.
Don't even need it. Don't even need it, man. We coach ourselves. Figure it out.
When the Nuggets start to nugget, it doesn't even matter, dude. Forget the play.
You don't need a coach. You don't need a GM. You just need 5. You just need Nikola Jokic and 4 guys. Then you just let the Nuggets nugget.
Yeah. All right. Should we let Jared go on his family walk now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I hear people stirring upstairs. So
yeah. And
I have one question.
They're probably
for
like,
you guys
don't
can answer
disturb
but-
Jared. He's hard at work right now.
Yeah. We can hear him taking a call with
He's on a call right now.
Yeah, let me loop in my client really quick. Quick question for you though: if we end up pulling this out and we just get to the Western Conference, do we think that Adelman's job is safe at that point? Is he, almost assured to be the next coach?
It all depends on the GM, in my opinion. But I would think it'd be crazy. But whatever.
It feels like we're heading towards him being the coach. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, there's still some things that have to fall into place, but he's done everything he can, right? Like it's not he can't be doing his job that much better than he is.
He could call a GD challenge every now and again. I'll say that.
That is an interesting point you bring up. Yeah, but I think we could be heading that way. Definitely seems like it could happen. He could be the coach for sure. For sure.
Yeah, he's just like the Nuggets. One day we love him, and the next day we think he's terrible. So who knows? I don't know. In my opinion,
that is yours and yours alone. That is yours. That's not what we think.
You're right. I'm throwing you all in there, but
I'm going to connect you with Gino. By the way, the two of you are going to be an unstoppable force.
There we go. We'll balance each other. All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. You have a good one, and go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
Thanks, man.
We have one last person here, JP, that we can hit to if he turns his camera. He or she turns the camera on in the next 5 seconds. You're on the clock now, JP.
JP.
I'd love to get out of here.
Is it Jalen Pickett?
Oh,
Holy
God.
smokes. Is it Julian?
What? James Posey, maybe.
James Posey?
Oh, my gosh. We got James Posey. JP can't figure out his camera. Therefore, he's out of here. We do have some super chats, though, Kale, I'm told. What do we got?
Chad Scheller, is the flopping a concern, distraction, or something that needs to be game planned or coached differently? Love the DNVR.
If we had to, I'd be honest here. There's 3 floppers in this series that stand above everyone else. And you guys will be mad at me for saying this, but it's Lou Dort, Shea, and Jokic. And Jokic is, I think, doing like retaliation flops.
Yes.
Like every time there's a bad call in his direction, he goes and does the same thing. And then he's like, see?
Exactly.
But nonetheless, those 3 are flopping around kind of crazy.
Dude, Lou Dort is number 1 on my power rankings.
By far. Lou Dort, by far. He's the.
Have you guys seen the play also where I didn't catch this live, but the play where he pushes Hartenstein into Jamal Murray on that first 4-point play?
I mean, that's
early
a
in the
bad
game.
play, but yes, yeah, exactly. But what was he doing? He just can't help himself.
I think that he's built a little bit like a bowling ball, and his inertia made it so that he couldn't turn.
No, he pushed Hartenstein into Murray.
I see. He sucks. Listen. You're putting me in a position where I'm. This on one of our fast channels. Anyway, fucking Lou Dort.
Yeah, that fucking
I hate that guy. Don't
man.
make me try to defend the poo Dort, but I agree with your assessment 1,000,000%, Adam. Jokic has been flopping, but he's been doing it because he has to fight fire with fire.
It's the only way to get a call in this series.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. What else we got?
GGX gang, if AG is not good to go for game 7, do you start Zeke over P-Watt to tie his minutes as much as possible to Jokic, or start P-Watt like they did in the regular season and run Zeke or DJ in the backup? Maybe even go small with Westbrook.
Oh, God. Let's hope we don't have to come up with any of these.
Those questions are all the worst kind of questions you want to be talking about a game 7.
I know, man.
Man.
I would probably start P-Watt.
You start P-Watt, of course.
Yeah, I think it's
Zeke is coming in way too cold.
But I know earlier we were talking about you play Zeke with Yoke during the regular season. So if this scenario comes up, you feel comfortable.
Yep.
We did see that a little bit during the regular season, a little bit, and it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that in a game 7, but
yeah. But thanks for the 20 piece. That's a nice super chat there. We appreciate it, man.
Gang.
Hood Poppy, I really need P-Watt guarding SGA in game 7. I can't afford us to lose Sunday. Otherwise, my girl is turning back to OnlyFans. Nobody has more ratting on this series than Hood Poppy.
Did he tweet this? Did he give this to us last night?
This is very similar to his tweet super chat from last night. Same kind of predicament that he's in.
Yeah. First off, Hood Poppy, you got to diversify your income. You really it can't just be betting on the Nuggets or OnlyFans. You should have a job or something also, right? Or just another source of income. But the bigger part is I do want to see P-Watt guarding SGA, but Jamal's been pretty admirable and has Christian. SGA has not taken over a game. He's had a couple spots, but I can't think of a time where I was like, oh my God, it's SGA time. We're cooked.
Right.
I mean, he's got to hit his mid ranges, but he's missed a lot. And I saw somebody talking about this, we've been kind of bottling him up or whatever. And I don't think that's the case. I kind of think this is just what he looks like. I think it's but he normally gets more free throws. So his 30 points a game turned into 40-point games. It's I just kind of think this is what his game looks like.
I mean, he's a really good player. He's a really good scorer. I know. But this team is great because of their defense. And they have a guy good enough offensively to carry them on that end by and large, but they did not win. This is the thing that's tough about 68 wins versus 50. And again, I'm a person who believes you should factor that into MVP, and I think you should factor it really heavily. But there is a thing of why do they have 68 wins? Yes, it's a lot to do with him and how he draws fouls and scores and controls the tempo, but it's really their defense. Their defense is incredible.
And their depth too. They have so many good players.
I mean, the most obnoxious part, there's always one obnoxious line that catches on and defines every MVP era. It's either the voter fatigue or this or that. And SGA
racism was a prevalent topic a couple years ago.
Still going, I think.
Yeah. But the one that annoys that makes me insane is when people are like, hey, listen, Nikola Jokic is the best player. I mean, he's the best player, but that doesn't mean he's the MVP. I mean, what are we talking about?
No, my actual favorite one from this cycle. I love how this is now what we're talking about today. But Nikola Jokic is so above the MVP award.
I just love the idea.
It's just an excuse to not give it to him.
I know.
He's above it. What the hell does that even mean?
It's dog whistle for voter fatigue. The old voter fatigue is back.
It is so true.
I do love this. Nothing makes me angrier, but just make me laugh more than just
he's above the MVP
we
award.
know he's the best player. That's not the question. We're not wondering who the best player is.
But he's definitely not the most valuable. Yes. He's for sure the best player, but he's just not. Just definitely not.
So stupid. I hate the NBA. What are we doing with our lives?
What are we doing?
David, depth problem equals Booth boys never had a chance because of the bad blood with Moach and Booth.
Yeah.
If we get a fresh season in with Adelman, Booth boys will flourish. All the Nuggets are good.
Bro,
It might be too late, but yeah, maybe.
Do we have to? They can't be the Booth boys anymore. We have to call them the Booth orphans.
The orphans.
The orphans.
That was
Let's call them
funny
the
when you
orphans.
said they're orphans. Now.
Let's call them the orphans. They're not the Booth boys either. They're just not.
THTR, Nuggets fired Malone. Does that mean they're coaching with one less coach than every other team? Yeah, technically.
That's such a great question.
Staff members they had before. Shouts out Big D.
Yeah.
Shout out Big D.
Big D.
Oh, I thought it was D-line.
No.
No.
David
That's
Adelman.
yeah.
Lost at sea. What does it say about this team? If they win this series, are they favored to win it all? Is there more growth the team would need to make?
Oh, bro.
I mean, the Nuggets, to me, if they win this one, will be the best team in the playoffs remaining, but also the most tired. So counteract those two together and going up against their fiercest rival.
I can't even go there. We can't talk about this. We got to win. We got to win on Sunday.
Got to do it.
And Michael Pintor, thinking far ahead here, what team do the Nuggets match up better with offensively and defensively between the Knicks and Pacers?
Hey, Eric, let's go way further the next round. Let's go. Eric's like, I can't go here.
What about the legacy of no? So the Pacers, if we want to be ridiculous here and just breeze through Game 7 in Oklahoma City and the Minnesota Timberwolves,
right?
Yeah, breeze through that.
Give me the Pacers all day long.
Yeah, give me the Pacers. Give me the Pacers.
Also, Nuggets Pacers. I just love an ABA matchup. You know, I just love.
Oh, I mean, Adam Silver would be. He'd be thinking of so many ideas while that series is going on
of how to end it, never make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd be so livid, man. It'd be the best.
He's like, oh, we're going to have what's called an off-season tournament. And it actually...
and then we can have back-to-backs in the playoffs to offset that.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a fun little off-day show, man. I love when we have homies on.
I know.
Yeah, that was a great show. Right after this show, you should go on our YouTube channel because Ryan Green's Spotlight behind-the-scenes exclusive footage from Game 6 last night is live on our YouTube channel. You can check that out right now.
We make a lot of stuff at this network. Most of it is okay. It's fine, whatever. RG, nothing but bangers. Just banger after
100%
banger.
hit rate for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, man. We hope you enjoy your day off tomorrow. Weird day off. Enjoy it because we're back on Sunday for Game 7. Hit the like button on the way out.
We all silly like the mayor.